I'm Kelly Swoop.
And I'm Jamie Costello. Welcome to Bridging the Gap.
We are highlighting our commitment to the Black community by showcasing those that are working to make the world better and brighter.
And we're going to start off in Southwest Baltimore. In fact, we're going to start off in the 1100 block of Sarah Ann Street. This was once home to beautiful row homes on both sides of the street. They were colorful. And then what?
For more than 140 years, the Black community lived in that community. Now, but all but two are boarded up after the city purchased all the property.
But Kelly, the people that still live here are not giving up in their fight to make this place historic.
Sarah Ann Street always had Black families as far as I know of.
Just after the Civil War, the alley houses in the 1100 block of Sarah Ann Street, it was home to some of Baltimore's working-class Black residents, built in 1870 by Miles White.
He was a Quaker, so he was against slavery, and he would purchase enslaved people in North Carolina and set them free. And some of the early homeowners actually are from African Americans from North Carolina.
This style of homes, called alley homes, were built to provide more affordable housing in mixed-income neighborhoods on the city's narrower streets.
You have these large, three-story row homes right next to these alley homes, so people from different income levels can live together.
After the war, alley streets became more segregated. Sarah Ann Street, originally known as Harmony Lane, was no different. With the exception of two white tailors from Prussia and Bavaria, this block had mostly Black residents.
The first homeowner on Sarah Ann Street was Kate Kennedy. And Kate Kennedy owned this home in 1873 and was a Black woman who owned it for numerous years and had tenants and probably used it to build cash in a time that lending practices didn't benefit Black people in Baltimore.
Of the 14 families living on the block in 1880, 4 Black heads of household drove coal carts. 1 was a porter in a hotel. 1 worked in a brickyard. 5 were laborers. There were 2 female heads of household. 1 kept house, the other and her daughter were dressmakers. 4 of 10 wives worked outside the home, 3 as washerwomen, 1 in service. All of the school-aged children of the Black families went to school.
Just looking at these occupations can attest to, not just Black mobility, but the upward mobility of just Black families in the 1880s.
And what these homes represent is the ability for, Black intergenerational wealth or building wealth in a time when it was very difficult to do that.
In a bid to have the row of homes listed on the National Register of Historic Places, Dr. Mary Ellen Hayward emphasized the significance of the surviving houses as heightened because alley streets with Black residents in the late 19th century were scarce and because now many have been torn down.
We have not preserved Black history in the same ways we have preserved white history in the city of Baltimore.
In the early 2000s, Baltimore began acquiring properties in Poppleton by eminent domain for a New York-based developer, eventually displacing dozens of residents, some of whom have lived here for more than 30 years. And after being put on hold for several years, the project is back on. Residents on Sarah Ann Street received relocation notices in March of 2021. Within the last year, one side of the block has been demolished. At least 10 families relocated.
Just to know that residents lived here just last summer. We was having cookouts, kids was playing together.
Nearby residents say they were supposed to be preserved, but the city never followed through.
Those properties were supposed to have been rehabbed for home ownership.
Others facing displacement say because the residents were renters, they were essentially forced out.
Because we were property owners, we were able to fight for a little longer stay here versus they weren't property owners here on Sarah Ann Street. They were renters. So it was owned by the city, and these were the first people to be removed from the neighborhood.
I'll be honest with you, I think it's the best kept secret in America, UMBC.
Freeman Hrabowski, the man leading the charge, has been there for more than 3 decades, and he's bridging the gap tonight, looking at the school's growth and successes.
So the swimmers will be out there. The commons, this will be packed with the student union. And this is life sciences, the new interdisciplinary life sciences.
Beautiful building.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that. He came out here.
UMBC President Freeman Hrabowski was beaming with pride as we toured his campus.
I know my students. I know lots of my students of all backgrounds.
On any given day, you'll see him meeting and greeting students along Academic Row.
See, everybody ready for tests? No.
His encouragement, energy, and enthusiasm have been the driving forces behind the university's successes over the past 30 years. March 18, 2018?
Yeah. Something that was exciting to the world was when we made sports NCAA history. First, number 16 seed to beat a number 1 seed, UVA. That wonderful UVA with all the billions of dollars. Great respect for them. But here is this campus, this young campus with players and a coach who all believe in themselves.
But what's bigger than their basketball triumphs is the climate that Hrabowski has created on this campus of about 14,000 students. On his list, when he became president in 1992, was raising the bar when it came to helping marginalized students become successful. And he's done it. The Meyerhoff Scholars Program, that had to be a game changer.
Oh yeah, the Meyerhoffs. We lead the country in producing blacks who go on to get PhDs in the natural sciences and engineering, and number 1 in producing those who get MD, PhDs. People see here that it can be done, that you can talk about students of any race, from first-generation college to kids whose parents are educated, and you can help them to succeed. The message of UMBC is you don't have to be rich to be the very best. I love that message. That's an American message.
And that message has evolved over the decades.
Students at that time would succeed if they were really well prepared, but many students didn't have the preparation and didn't do well here necessarily. If we accept you, we plan to make sure you succeed. In fact, we've spent a lot of time working with school systems, starting with Baltimore City, and looking at what we can do to improve test scores, but also to help children to believe in themselves and to be prepared.
The list of success stories is long. To name a few, Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett, who helped invent the Moderna vaccine. James Clements, president of Clemson University. Former Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams. New Year. Adrian Jones, the first African American and first woman to serve as Speaker of the Maryland House of Delegates.
The start.
To a girl from East Baltimore who grew up to become the Vice President of Economic Development for Johns Hopkins University and Johns Hopkins Health System.
Comes to UMBC, does superbly, goes to Maryland Law School, does all kinds of great things, and now she's one of the leaders in our community.
Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would be a student at Mervo and then one day a vice president at Johns Hopkins.
Alicia Wilson credits her UMBC education for where she is today.
So I could point to specific professors that pushed me to apply for the Truman Scholarship, way outside of what I ever thought I could accomplish. And then to be the first Truman Scholar at UMBC. At another school, I would have been overlooked.
And making sure no student felt overlooked or was left behind is one of the things Hrabowski hopes to leave as his legacy.
We care about other people, and we are excited about ideas and about thinking and having passion that you never, never, never give up. We must keep hope alive, and that's UMBC, a beacon of hope.
Her work is larger than life, and it's her life that's on display at the Baltimore Museum of Art.
Coming up, how one local artist is really carving out her own unique work of art.
You guys are here early.
The text said you were bringing McDonald's.
Should we get right into it?
Nick, there's hot food present.
There's a deal for every morning. Like right now, you can grab 2 sausage burritos for only $3. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Update your floors with Luna's $50 room sale. Buy 1 room, get floors for all other rooms for just $50 each. So, when you buy 1 room, it's only $50 for laminate in the dining room, $50 for carpet in the bedroom, and $50 for hardwood in the office. There's no limit. Buy 1 room, and it's $50 for floors in each additional room. Visit Luna.com or call
877-241-LUNA.
These new Checkers Fry Season Chicken Tenders are for Joe. Joe wants his son's project to be #1. Whew. So we took our #1 famous seasoned fries and added the same secret blend of spices to create Checkers' new Fry Seasoned Tenders. Made with 100% white meat chicken and all coated with our famous fry seasoning. Now that's a winning combination. Genius recognizes genius, Joe. Come get your new Fry Seasoned Tenders. You've earned it. Join Checkers Rewards for a free Buford or Mother Cruncher.
For over 100 years, quality, attention to detail, and commitment to our customers have been the hallmarks of A. Hoffman Awning Company, serving Maryland with the finest custom-made residential and commercial awnings and canopies. Beautiful, unique, award-winning. Introducing our new and exclusive patent-pending seamless aluminum step-down awning manufacturing system. Now is the perfect time to place your 2022 order. Visit ahoffmanawning.com today.
Morning.
Good morning.
Get the morning going with any sized iced coffee for 99 cents until 11 a.m.
You know, artists can have so many layers, whether it's painting, sculpting, carving, drawing.
Yeah, we've been lucky enough to meet local artists who are really adding a lot of color and depth to our world.
And this local artist has found one way to pull all that together into one unique piece of art.
I call it a portrait of a day, so it basically shows a day in my life as a mother and practicing artist from the start of the day all the way to the end of the day.
LaToya Hobbs' day fills a room at the Baltimore Museum of Art, and it is larger than life.
It was really a challenge for me to think about showing people in full environments.
Wooden panels, about 9 feet by 12, painted black, featuring scenes of her family life, etched with a white pencil, and then carved with more details than you could ever imagine. While the panels are huge, it's the tiny details that bring her images to life.
I mean, you have to look like really, really closely to see the carving. You know what I mean? It looks like a picture.
Yeah, so like what you're doing now, I like when people are able to do that, to kind of come up close and really take time to investigate it.
Hobbs worked on the project for more than a year with the support of her husband and 2 young boys. The dinner time scene was her biggest challenge because of the surfaces and symmetry.
There's a lot of like complex surfaces in terms of, I'm particularly thinking about this granite countertop, and it's also like the only section where I'm standing in the center of the composition. I particularly placed this work here by Valerie Maynard there because it kind of matches the silhouette of my body.
Facial expression too. I mean,
yeah.
Legacy is important to her. From her children, ages 5 to 7, to those who've inspired her over the years.
So a lot of in the scenes you'll see artwork on the walls, so I'm specifically referencing other artists who have had an impact on my practice in some way.
And she wanted to share those layers. She's also a printmaker and a painter.
This is the final stage of the day. So after, you know, in the morning, we've done homeschool and dinner and put the boys to bed. Now I'm finally able to kind of shift out of the role of being a mother, but into my role of being an artist.
Since she became a professional artist in 2013, Hobbs has taken great pride in showing and sharing her experience as an African-American woman.
Yeah, so we hear this phrase like representation matters, which is so true. And a lot of times when you come into museum spaces, unfortunately, sometimes you don't see representations of yourself. At least that was kind of my experience growing up. And so that's one of the aims that I want my work to do, is that for people to be able to see themselves in the work.
And at the same time, her work is relatable to all.
We see the theme of motherhood, you know, that's a universal theme that anybody can kind of latch on to. This idea of family, anybody can latch on to. So those core ideas are the same, but they kind of maybe take on different aesthetics.
You can step into the doors of an art gallery and just be amazed by his talent.
Or you can simply just drive down the street and look up at the wall. Don't notice the color of skin. Stare into the eyes. When Ernest's eyes popped open on the 3rd floor of an apartment building on Division Street, he saw his mother.
And I literally would sit crisscross applesauce at her feet.
She was an artist. Dad played jazz. Neighbor Cocky lived across the street, crossing it with paintings.
Images of African women and boys and children on our wall while my mother was painting cityscapes out of the window at different times of the day with music playing in the background.
Then, at the age of 3, with a black and brown crayon and a white piece of paper, he attempted to do a profile of his mom while she sat on a couch soaking in a soap opera.
She had an afro. You would think that would be easy. But the forehead, nose, lips, and to this day, sometimes I still have issues with that, and I think it's mental.
He got frustrated, snapped the crayon, ripped the paper.
And I had a meltdown, just like a regular 3 or 4-year-old would.
As life would happen, Ernest would go to kindergarten. And guess what his first assignment would be?
Assignment was self-portrait. And he held up my self-portrait as an exemplar of what he wanted to see, you know, in the other students' work. And I remember that feeling. You're going to create a small version of that called a zine. So what you're going to do is create a timeline. When I have a utensil or an instrument in my hand, I try to not lose consciousness, but I try to become, I let go.
From Baltimore School for the Arts, making friends with Tupac, to Morgan, to Howard, to the walls of Baltimore, back to class, where he is now the teacher.
Education means to inspire people to live more abundantly.
The majority of the work is done here.
Up at 3, water, meditates, reads, makes tea, exercises, and then creates.
When Michelangelo painted the ceiling in the Sistine Chapel, he used people in his vicinity as his models.
So he used his daughter on the wall here at Park and North. She was 8 years old at the time, 26 today. And if you noticed, Ernest used what's called drips in the art world. Mom noticed.
Drips here. If you look at my work, there are drips in a lot of my work. You know, you can tell. The first time I ever used a drip technique, she questioned it and she didn't like it. And that was the moment I knew I was onto something.
Well, no way did he see the drips of tears streaming down his face when his 8-year-old son died of cancer.
He came to me in a dream I would also call a vision, and he hugged me. When he hugged me, time stopped, and I knew what eternity felt like.
4 years after his son's death, he painted his son's portrait.
I thought I was doing a portrait of him at 8 years old, but my mother, right, and others, my lady friend at the time, my woman friend, who is now my wife, my daughter, all saw him at 12 years old.
It's amazing how this man has made a full circle like an eye on the face that he paints. A man continuing to give back to Baltimore, a man who remembers his first teacher.
And I wished that if he's still around, I could have a conversation with him. I was kindergarten, first grade, Fermanagh Templeton on Pennsylvania Avenue, Mr. Rudisell.
When you strike oil in the ground, you get rich. When you find talent in a child, you get richer. He finds talent in his class, and just like Mr. Rudisill found talent in Ernest.
So if I can find Mr. Rudisill, and it's just to thank him, because that actually changed the trajectory. I think that put me on a trajectory of success as an artist.
You guys are here early.
The text said you were bringing McDonald's.
Should we get right into it?
Nick, there's hot food present.
There's a deal for every morning. Like right now, you can grab 2 sausage burritos for only $3. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
My dental health was not good. I had periodontal disease, and I just didn't feel well. But then I found Clear Choice.
Replacing Marcia's teeth with dental implants at Clear Choice was going to afford her that permanent solution.
Clear Choice dental implants gave me the ability to take on the world. I feel so much better, and I think that that is the key.
These new Checkers Fry Season chicken tenders are for Joe. Joe wants his son's project to be #1. Woo. So we took our #1 famous seasoned fries and added the same secret blend of spices to create Checkers' new Fry Seasoned Tenders. Made with 100% white meat chicken and all coated with our famous fry seasoning. Now that's a winning combination. Genius recognizes genius, Joe. Come get your new Fry Seasoned Tenders. You've earned it. Join Checkers Rewards for a free Buford or Mother Cruncher.
A COVID-19 booster can significantly reduce your risk of becoming seriously ill or hospitalized due to infection. Get the COVID-19 booster if you received a 2-dose vaccine 5 months ago or a 1-dose vaccine at least 2 months ago. Find out more by visiting covidlink.maryland.gov. By protecting yourself with a booster, you can help make everyone safer. Go Vax Maryland, get the booster.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Get the morning going with any sized iced coffee for 99 cents until 11 a.m.
You walk into any church, you're going to find deep-rooted history.
You know, there's a special church in Reisterstown that makes it more than just old. It's who it's built by that makes it so unique. Halfway down Bond Avenue in Reisterstown, you'll find St. Luke's United Methodist Church. It's in the middle of a neighborhood. From the outside, it looks like a typical church with a cemetery and an adjacent fellowship hall. But once inside, you'll learn it's far from ordinary.
This is the original prayer rail. So this goes back to 1880. Where we're standing is the original church. It was an A-frame church. So it was a very simple structure.
The church was built 172 years ago by slaves. And all these years later, it's still up and running with an active congregation.
And eventually the church...
Ken Camper is the church historian.
I think that the church has lasted all these years in a community that began with people who were enslaved, who had a vision that they wanted to have their own church. They wanted to be able to worship in peace. And that, to me, is enduring.
Just about all my life, say 70 years.
Sharon McCoy was raised in this church. Her family, descendants of slaves, worshiping here from the very beginning. Her grandmother, Annie Dett, lived to be 100 and had plenty of stories to share.
She just told us as a little girl, that's where she went to school and attended one-room schoolhouse that they called it.
The colored schoolhouse was built in 1867 and sat right behind the church. Dozens of kids were educated here. Kids like Jacob Lee, who grew up to become a land developer in Reisterstown. He created a scholarship for kids in the church community.
The church is there to help others and to help people that are in need.
The schoolhouse fell in disrepair and was demolished in 1997. The fellowship hall was nearly torn down too, but the church's rich history saved it. Among the historical landmarks is the grave of decorated Buffalo soldier and church member Augustus Wally. Historians learned between the cemetery, the hall, and the schoolhouse, the church was eligible for a post-emancipation settlement. The state of Maryland stepped in with grant money to help them repair the aging fellowship hall.
The church would be around when all else failed.
A man of the word, but new to the history of St. Luke's, took over the pulpit 2 years ago. Reverend Emmanuel Johnson would bridge the gap and lead the church in a new era of challenges, ministering during a pandemic.
Having service, it was totally different. But again, you learn to adapt. You can't stop God's program. He is a vehicle He allowed us to use.
Greater person to work for.
Zoom, Facebook, Twitter.
I want to recognize this Maxine Tucker, who has been...
Show goes on.
1880, we're looking at history by looking at the floors. The floors are original to the church.
You see the stained glass, the pews, the walls. The history's still here.
And it's a proud, rich history that'll hopefully continue to be shared for decades and passed on to future generations.
Praise be to God that we are able, and we were able to get through that and, to hold on to the church. So for that, I'm very grateful to be a part of that, and it's still standing here and standing strong.
Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me.
You guys are here early.
The text said you were bringing McDonald's.
Should we get right into it?
Nick, there's hot food present.
There's a deal for every morning. Like right now, you can grab 2 sausage burritos for only $3. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
$149, $229, $249. Buy one, get one free. 4 for $5, 5 for $4. 89 cents per pound. $249, $3.99, $1.99. 50% off.
That'll be
$47.88. Yeah. I buy the same thing every week.
Unbelievable prices. Don't miss deals. Get them with your ShopRite Price Plus card. Sign up today.
$2.99. I feel like I'm stealing it at this point.
At Jones Junction, we pride ourselves on exceeding our customers' expectations. We're also proud to announce that we have reached a milestone, 150,000 positive online likes and reviews. We're grateful to all of our customers we've had the chance to serve over the past 105 years. From sales to service to parts and body shop, we all work to make every customer interaction as satisfying as possible. We'd like the opportunity to show you how we treat customers. Maybe you'll be our next positive review. Stop by or check us out online at jonesjunction.com.
At Next Day Floors, we take the stress out of shopping during our 50% off No Stress Express sale. With thousands of flooring choices, state-of-the-art cabinetry, and designer blinds, all under one roof at the lowest prices guaranteed. No matter what your budget, you deserve a beautiful home with floors, cabinetry, and blinds during our No Stress Express sale. Make an appointment today.
Next Day Floors, we come to you. Call 800-916-6112.
Morning.
Good morning.
Get the morning going with any sized iced coffee for 99 cents until 11 a.m.
Go out in our community and tell your story of how you're bridging the gap.
We look forward to staying connected with you. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.